This is Lakehopper, and this might be the only flight sim where you have to fix your own plane just to keep flying. You have to build the engines and fuel system before you can even get in the air and start delivering cargo to various towns. This gives me strong my summer car / my winter car vibes. However, you have some help with a build guide so you aren't totally in the dark. I was very surprised how in-depth the navigation was, and with this game being in early access, it will only get better from here, I hope. Stick around later in the video where we make an attempt to deliver cargo for the first time. There is the airplane sitting at the dock. It has no engines, it has no panel, it has nothing. We have to build it. Liquid hydrogen fuel, flammable. So this thing runs off of liquid hydrogen fuel. Here's some jobs to do, but we're not even ready for something like that yet. Hi, I ain't gonna ramble too much. My name's Marge. This is my old shop. If you're of the mechanical mindset, fix up the old bird at the dock with the parts inside here. You've got a binder on you with some helpful info. Hit B by default to open and close your binder. Happy skies, Marge. Okay, Marge, thank you. We appreciate you. Let's have a look inside. Oh, wow. Lots of parts. Got some cowlings here. Got a support ring. Oh, got some props here. Nice. We got a magneprop core. I don't know what all that is. What is this stuff? Got some hiccup internal 3-bay. We got some racks, avionics, pressure sensors. We got a heat exchanger. We got superconducting coil. Is this electric? There's a tank there for hydrogen. Okay. And here's some fuel cells. Yeah, this is what it's kind of looking like to me. I got a turbo compressor. Okay, interesting. Intercoolers, fuel cell exhaust, hydrogen feed line, fuel cell air intake. Then we have some more parts over here. And this is a power plant support frame. Very cool. Wow. Oh, and an instrument panel. I wonder if we just put, oh, hello. I'm just going to pick it up. Rotate with left alt. Okay, gotcha. Can we just put this in the airplane as we have it here? Maybe. Let's see. What's out here? We got some parts. We can't do that yet. This looks like we have to actually, let's set this on the ground there. We have a little hand truck here. There you go. And I wonder if we can pick up actual boxes and put them on the, you put them on the hand truck and then load it onto the plane. That's so cool. Okay, well, we're not ready for that yet. Just kidding. Let's put this thing, try to put this in the airplane. Maybe they'll let us do it. I don't know. Let's set this down right here. Don't put it in the water. That would be bad. Open the door with E. There we go. Yeah, hydrogen fuel port. This is a very interesting airplane. With the tail section and the side there, it looks like a Grumman Goose. Oh yeah, we can put it in here. And we have 1, 2, 3 bolts we need to put in here. Oh, you just left click once and it puts it in. Nice. Look at that. We have a panel in now. And here's the overhead panel. We got a hydrogen fuel panel, power plant, motor, battery, switches there, boost power, turbo RPM. That looks like our actual RPM gauges. Yep, it is. And that's in kilowatts. Is that what that says? K-watt. Yeah. It's like electric hydrogen power plant access panel. Wow. Okay. Well, we're learning, aren't we? We certainly are. I saw this thing in here. There's an option to change the plane color. Oh, wow. Yes, please. Well, you know what we need to do? We need to remake, well, do the colors of the Sea Duck, you know, from Tailspin. You can make it yellow. Oh, yes, you can. You can put a grading on it, too, which is kind of cool. That actually looks neat. Oh, that is cool looking. You can see little pontoons have the orange underneath it now. And now our actual belly of the airplane has orange on it as well. So we do have striping options. You can see it moving on the airplane there. It kind of goes just down from there. Let's go down a little bit further. That's actually kind of cool looking right there. I like that one. Let's hit done. All right. We painted our airplane yellow now. That'll look pretty darn cool in the sky. Look at that water. Very nice. Okay, well, let's get started on building the airplane. Let's open our binder here. Plane assembly. The plane's missing most of its major subsystems, yada, yada, yada. Magneprop engines ×2, hydrogen fuel tanks, hydrogen fuel cell power plant, main power source, batteries, instrument panel, and cargo racks. Here is the assembly reference, a Magneprop motor and propeller. The Magneprop engine is an electric plane motor, utilizing a superconducting stator for higher efficiency. It drives a 3-blade constant speed prop with the maximum rated input of 350 kilowatts, 470 horsepower. It provides an electric alternative to similarly sized radial combustion engines. Okay. Assemble 8 stator units by bolting a Bednor's loop to each superconducting coil. Okay, we have to build this thing. That looks familiar because we saw this earlier. All right, yep, this thing here, we have a stator support ring here, and we have one here. And from what I can see, we have to build it like that. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have to build 8 of these things. All right, let's do it. Put this thing down. We got 8 of those. Now we get these things, the Bednor's loops. Yep, there you go, right there. Okay, and then we get our wrench out and click. And click. All right, we just have to build 8 of these things. All right, we have 8 of them finished. And yep, they just pop in like this. Nice. Put you on the side there and you on that one. You can grab things pretty far away, which is really nice. I like it. Very my summer car / my winter car vibes, but airplanes, you know? That is what's really neat about this. And you got to keep in mind that if you do something wrong or you were to install things improperly, this thing could be, it could be catastrophic. All right, we finished that, and we have to do that 2 times, and then we move on to this section here of putting the 2 together and then putting this whole piece together with the props. All right, that is a complete 2 little stators finished there. We have a pickup cowl bottom and we have an upper. Let's bring this outside so we can see what we're doing. So this is the bottom piece here. Okay, we'll flip it around like that. For the most part. Yep, that'll do nicely. We get one of these stators and put it right in between it. Yep. Oh, right there. And we have 4 bolts we need to do here. Let's do them right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll get the other piece together. I don't think we can build that thing out just yet, but let's get the other one out here as well. So another bottom piece here. Yep, right there is fine. Let's grab this stator, put it in here. We'll bolt it on in. And then we're gonna be ready for the top cowling. Now, I would imagine you have to build it like that first because the binder says it goes in the middle of that. So yeah, we can put those together. That should not be an issue at all. This one here should go on top. Yep, like that. And this one will go on top of this one over here, like that. We have 2 bolts on each side to take care of there. We can always loosen the bolts if we wanted to with the right mouse button. So that's how you take it out. Very nice. All right, let's build the props next. Get a prop here. We need 3 props for this guy. And it's this thing here. Do these just pop in? Yes, they do. Okay, nice. Well, they have 4 on each one. Look at that. That's gonna, oh, hello. Yep, nice. Pops it up. Easy access to that. Put all these bolts in right here. There we go. Nice. Now we can put this thing outside on one of the engines. Yep, like that. That's all it takes. We have to bolt it. Remember, I think it said we don't have to. When placed inside the stator, the core will be magnetically centered and requires no bolts to remain secure. Well, let's build the other one now. There we go. Put you out here. Nice. Check it out. We have 2 engines now. All right, let's pick this thing up and let's see what it's like to actually attach it to the airplane. Can we? Yes, we can. Looks like it's 1 bolt. Interesting. Yep, 1 bolt there. Can we hop up here? Yes, we can. On top. And put that in there. Check it out. We got ourselves, it's starting to look like an airplane now. Definitely a Grumman Goose. Look at the front now. Yeah, it's much better to have your binder out in the sun so you can actually read it better. So that's finished. Okay, failure to properly secure all bolts on the motor may result in increased wear due to vibration or catastrophic failure of the motor while in operation. That would be terrible. So here's the exploded assembly diagram, and that's what we're building there. Let's get all these parts together. Let's get the power plant support frame out here first. We could build it in here. This is fine. It's adequate lighting. That's hydrogen feed line. This is a intake fuel cell exhaust. Okay, so those 3 or 4 things there. I remember this thing from that. All right, we have a fuel cell housing here. We have 2 of these, actually. And then we have the caps for them. as well, which I assume they just go, yeah, they go right there. Okay, so fuel cell goes in, cap, that all goes together. That piece is over there. That's on top of that. You have to build that thing out and then that as well. Okay, so you go on there and we'll put you like that. Put you on top of there and you're good to go there. Now this thing goes on top of that or in there. Yep, that makes sense because we're building this into this cage thing. These fuel cells are over here. So you go in there and you go in here. Put the caps on as well. That looks good. Look at all the bolts we got to do here. Put all those in. All right, so those are done. Now we can put these in here. I assume you don't. This doesn't have to be in like a perfect order or anything. This goes in there. This goes in there, and that goes in there. That's it. Now we just have to put all the bolts in together. Which I do like how it shows you the bolts highlighted. It makes it a little less hardcore, but maybe that's something they could do in the future, you know? Look at that. We have the whole thing put together now. I mean, that looks just like it. We have exhaust sensors we have to put on here. There we go. One there, and then one... Well, that guy goes on there. Nice. Put you in here, you in there, and you in there. That should be the whole thing completed. Let's just set this thing down right here for right now. Because we're going to put it in there eventually, but we have a lot more to build. I wonder if we can swim. Can we swim in this game? Yes, we can. Check it out. Nice. Oh, he swims fast, too. Very fast swimmer. Oh, check it out, man. So cool to have ourselves a little airplane. All right, that's done. Let's look at the binder here. We have the liquid hydrogen tanks to build now. So this piece here, I'm going to set you over here. We have these, the heat exchangers as well. Where's it at? It's this thing, right? This is what we're building. It has to be this thing, I would imagine. Yep, there's the back piece of it there, which looks like that. And then it has the two small ones that attach to it to this rack. So we need this rack here. There it is right there. The pickup main support. Set you down right here for now. This thing is going to attach into here. Yep, like that. Now we're going to put the big bolts in. This is crazy what we're doing here, man. Absolutely crazy. Okay. And then we have these things that get attached. Look at all these tiny pieces, the inlets, the ones. And what are all these things? We have the leak detectors there. That's the relief valves. These are your pickup temp sensors. Pickup outlets right here. These are the big guys. That's what those things are. Okay, so these here are going to go on the smaller tanks. We have two tanks up here. That's what we were looking for. These things. I'm wondering if those are going to slide into these. I'm not sure. We're going to see. Yes, they do. Oh my God. Okay. Well, you could put it on there. Let's go ahead and bolt this thing in so it doesn't go flying on us there while we're working on it. But turns out you just slide them into there and then you have access to the actual screws. I didn't know if we would be able to do that, but apparently we can by a couple bolts. There we go. Not bad. We have another one here that goes on the other one. Yep, that's this one here. Put those in. Pretty much all the big ones, you know. It makes sense. That goes in there. We're just filling all of these tiny little holes here with parts. That heat exchanger. That one gets one. This is the big one for it there. And these are some big bolts we're putting on here. So we're working for SpaceX over here. There we go. Nice. How about that Artemis 2 launch, man? Seeing history made, going back to the moon after 50 years. Speaking of 50 years, it's going to take us 50 years to finish this thing. Okay, so we have that done. Leak detectors, pressure sensors. Okay, so basically all of this stuff has a home in there, especially these things here. That has one. This one goes to that side, and this is the big one for here. So they all pretty much have the same thing happening with it. You go there and there, and you can just take those two right there. All right. This is the level sensor here, goes right there. And that's 2 bolts. And then we have another one here for that guy and another one for the other one. There we go. One, and There we go. It's coming together, man. It's a lot of parts here. A lot of parts. Okay, drop leak detector. Drop leak detector there. And this is the big one for the center one. Oop. Let's grab you again. Yep. Put these things in. I mean, you can use the guide, but it pretty much holds your hand, you know. For the most part. It's like, well, you could, but why would you? You know, whenever you have the help of highlighting. All right. Because if we had these bolts weren't highlighted, we would be lost right now. I'd be like, what are we doing here with all of this stuff? Because that is a lot of pieces. A lot. Okay, drop relief valve. You go in there. You're the small ones, and you're the big one. Right there. All right. And here. Okay, now we have the sensors. You're the big one. You're the small one. Let's bolt these all in. Bolt, bolt, and bolta, bolta. Okay, it looks like it's pretty good. We have a level sensor, pressure, relief valve, temp sensor, pressure sensor, leak detector. Yep, we don't do anything electrical yet. This is the cables and stuff for this rack. We have to make this avionics rack. I think it's safe to say that this thing is finished. The whole assembly. And it looks like Falcon Heavy or something here. Let's set it down. Look at that. Wow. I don't even know where that goes. Probably between the engines, right? I'm interested, so let's see. Oh. Oh, it goes down below. There's a hatch port to get to it. Let's set that in there. This is the hatch port here. So let's open this up and this up. So this is how we do it. Bolt it down in there with these. Should be 4 of these. That's it. It's gonna be hard to kind of get to these right here, isn't it? There we go. That should be assembled now. Look at that. Woohoo! Yeah, I was about to say, where does this thing go? So this is where that piece is going to go that we just built. That thing out here on the dock. Let's grab that. Might as well. Pick up subassembly. Yep, it goes right here. And it's just a couple of these. And we can open this hatch up too to get to all these parts. There we go. Just 2 bolts. I mean, they kind of made it simple, didn't they? They sure did. All right, let's get all the avionics together here. These are battery units. They're not avionics. So here's the rack. Here's the breakout cable. The battery rack goes here. Battery units slide in there, and the control unit on top. This is an internal bay rack, and then these are the goods racks. So these are for cargo. Okay. I see now. So here's the battery control units there. So we have 2 of these we can build. And these are the different breakout cables for them. So we're going to start assembling those. Then we have battery cables themselves over here. Down here. There's a lot of them too. You may be wondering why I'm not building it over here in the corner. It's just for lighting reasons. I want you to be able to see what I'm actually doing. In case you're following along, you know. So we don't use any wrenching on the cables themselves, turns out. But this guy goes in the top. This one goes in the top. And we'll connect them back here. We can always turn our flashlight on, but man, that is bright. Close these up. All right, now we can put these battery units in here in the racks. And it's all starting to make sense now. Batteries are at 50%, it looks like. So they need to be charged. That's one rack done on that side. Now we can do this one. Same thing. Yep. Same thing. And we attach everything with these battery cables. These things go all, yep, they're all here. And we don't have to do anything besides attach them, which is nice. And you can't like go out of order or anything. It just says, hey, go ahead and attach these. All right, so now they're all plugged in. You can see them right there in the front to the back. Not too shabby. All right, looking at this outside, we can actually see what we're doing. We have checklists now, so that's it. That's all we had to do to build the airplane. I'm pretty sure we just need to go put these things into the plane itself. Okay, let's set you out here. We have to put the racks in first because those slide into the racks, it looks like. That's what we have, the big racks there. That would make sense too. Okay, we have to build these in here like this. There we go. Bay rack assembly on that side and bay rack assembly on this side. Yep, that's exactly what we do. Attach that one there. All right, let's start bolting this thing into the airplane. I can't wait to fire this thing up for the first time and go flying. It's going to be awesome. I'm sure nothing horrible would happen. You know, it wouldn't have an engine failure or anything like that. That would be terrible. All right, let's get the battery racks in here now. Yep, you go there. And you go in here. Not there. Yep. Well, right there. All right, that'll work. All right, let's bolt these things in, shall we? And done. Look at that. We have a whole rack system in the airplane now. I think we're pretty close to flying this thing. H2 refuel station. Okay. Connect the nozzle to the vehicle. Open the vehicle tank cutoff switch. Press start to begin fueling. Disconnect and return the nozzle once fueling is complete. Okay, so we need to learn how to do that. All right, we detach that. We have it in our hands, and it's attached to that. All right, where's the switch that we needed to do? Is it inside our actual tanks down there? Tank cutoff switch must be open for refueling and power plant operation. Got it. Let's open that up. Now I press start. We have fill levels happening. Things are happening here. We're filling the airplane. Just waiting on the big tank to fill up. That makes sense. It takes a little longer. All right, it's done. So let's go back up here. We'll turn this switch to the closed position. Now we'll detach this thing. There we go. Put it back where we had it. You can reset the nozzle if you wanted to, I guess, in case it gets stuck. That's that. All right. I mean, before we do anything crazy, we're going to go ahead and take it for a spin, I think. Close the door. Oh my God, it's happening, y'all. We get in here, enter the pilot's seat right here. Okay, so you hit 1 for the ropes, so we can detach the rope like that. Okay. That's fine. Oh, this is where you can pull it around where you want. Okay, nice. But that's how we moor, it looks like. Oh, hello. Can we jump over this thing? I need to get to the front of the airplane, please. And thank you. Yep. Rope. Just like that. Oh, we're good now. We're good. Let's hop in here. Close the door. That's closed up. This could be a disaster, y'all. This could be an actual disaster. Okay, checklist time before taxi and engine start. Pre-flight inspection is complete. We just did it. Passenger briefing. You're here with us today. We're just going to be taxiing this thing out to the water. Going to take off, get a feel for the airplane, land it, bring it back. Things like that. Don't mess with the controls. Cargo secure. Not worried about it. Dock lines are cast off. Rear door is closed. Flaps. Flaps are at 0. All right, battery master switch to the on position. Okay, there we go. Tank cutoff to open. Fuel cutoff, open. There it goes. We can hear it happening. We're looking between 1.5 and 3 bar. And then electric master will come on. All right, it's stable right there. Getting closer to 3 now. Electric master can come to the on position. Battery charge is off. Fuel pressures between 1.5 and 3. Power boost mode goes to auto. Motor masters both to the on position. Crack the throttle open a little bit there, and same with the props. I think they should go full forward though. It says 1 centimeter, so we're just gonna do that. Left starter start. It's alive. It's alive, I tell ya. Look at that. Let's bring this thing back to idle here. We don't want it to die though. And let's start the right engine. There she goes, just like that. Oh my God, it's happening. You gotta be kidding me. Here's our rudder here. I don't know if we have water rudder on. Let's pull this thing back. There we go. Nice. Bringing the props up to 1,000 here. That's 1,000 there. Left throttle, 100 kilowatts. So we're looking at kilowatts there. 100 kilowatts, so bring it up. Oh, that was a lot. There's 100 there, nice. All right. Power output 110 to 150. 110 to 150, we're at about 200 there, so let's bring it back a little bit. Maybe bring back our props. Turbo should be between 10 and 20, I think is what it said. Turbo is 10 to 20. Let's bring it back a little bit more. Exhaust temp between 125 and 150, so we can bring these up a lot more than that. There we go. See how this thing handles this here. Exhaust temp still not high enough yet. Let's go a little bit more power. Okay, between 125 and 150, we're good. All right, let's bring it back. Okay. Boost motor power. Yep. Everything was working as it should be. So before takeoff is flight controls. Left, right. Flight controls are free and correct. And then we have flaps will be set for takeoff and elevator trim set for takeoff. Both of those. Trying to figure out which one's which. Flaps down is V. So let's put these all the way down. And I'm not sure what our trim is set at here. Our trim is right here. Pretty zeroed out there. I'm not sure how you even change it, to be honest with you. Everything else seems to be going pretty well. I mean, the airplane is a little left pontoon heavy right now from what I can see, but I think it's gonna fly, and that's all that matters. Use our rudder to turn a little bit more there. There we go. I think we're ready for our first flight in this thing. I think we're ready. Let's bring up our power here. All the way back on the elevators here. Let's try to get that thing out of the pontoon out of the water with our left. There we go. Like that. Little left rudder here. Hang on to it. We're good. Little wild. Little wild. Oh, we are just all over the place, aren't we? Come on. We need more speed than this. Oh, pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. It's no good. This thing's out of control, out of control, out of control. We're good, we're good. All right, we wanted to turn around anyway. Holy crap, dude. That was insane. Actually insane. Pull our power back a little bit more. We are pretty far away from home. Home was that way, wasn't it? Yeah, I can see the building down there. All right, more left. Yeah, that got rowdy quick, and that wasn't even full power. The trim is definitely something we need to have working. Looks like trim is K and I, and we have rudder trim as well, and aileron trim, and reverse thrust. All right, so K and I for our pitch trim here. So let's bring our pitch trim back a little bit. Go about right there. That ought to do it. And this thing wanted to go heavily to the left. I mean, we're not going to worry about our trims too much here. Let's see if we can just get this thing. Oh, our props are being stupid. Those need to be fully forward. There we go. Now let's use right aileron to get that pontoon out with left rudder out of the water. Let's go full power here for takeoff. Okay. A little bit this way. There you go. A little bit better. A little better that time. We're building speed up now. There's that crazy motion it has. Come on, baby. Get up in the air. It wants to fly. It wants to fly. You can do it. Oh, we're up on the step. We're on the step. We're on the step. We're looking good. We're looking good. Come off the ground nice and easy. Oh my God, we're flying. Oh God, we're in the air. We did it. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Let's bring our flaps up to 30. We'll pull our power back a little bit. Maintain our engines in the green band here. We can actually bring our props back a little bit here. Okay, so it's doing that when I do that. All right, bring them up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, let's get this thing into a nice turn to the right. This is so cool, man. A lot of this was just trim. We do have an autopilot too. Okay, let's pull our power back. A lot more. There we go, that's better. And roll out this way. We should be able to see our little place down there. Look at that, there it is. That's where we were. That's where we built all the parts of the plane. Okay, so she's going pretty well here so far. Bring our props up a little bit here. We're gonna do some stalls after we get our flaps all the way up. We're just doing a flight control test here right now. So let's bring up our flaps. Let's put the flaps in and see how it does in a stall. Let's go flap 60 here. There you go, keep the nose down a little bit. All right, let's just kill the power here. And let's see how she does in a power off stall. I'm all the way back, and it just falls down, and you can see we are in a stall for the most part here. There's a wing stall. Okay. Let's recover out of it. Full power. We're good. We're good. Pull our power back a little bit. Okay, so yeah, those flaps really do work really well, don't they? Let's bring these things up now to 0. Make sure that they're working correctly, which they are. I'm going to change my FOV. You can change your FOV in this game. All right, our FOV is now 112, which seems a lot better. So it's handling things pretty darn good. Very responsive on the controls. We're not cooking our engines or anything crazy like that. It all seems to be pretty straightforward. Looking at all of this stuff here. So let's see. Climb was flaps up. Power boost mode goes to stays in auto. Throttle is max 300 kilowatts. So cruise is going to be set whatever you want it to be. Max is 2100 RPM on the props. Good to know. I mean, we didn't overspeed them or anything like that. It wasn't bad. Well, let's bring this thing into land and see what that's like. So we can try to get a cargo job. Pull our power back here. We know our little island's out this way to the left. We're in the white arc, flaps 30. Okay, and then we're gonna go flaps 60. And just let the airplane bleed all of its energy off. Oh, straight into the water we went, just by that. That wasn't too bad of a landing though. I will say that. Bring these things up a little bit. So these are very, very finicky, meaning how sensitive the throttles are. So that's good to know at least. Let's taxi this thing back in. Props are fully forward. We're giving her all she's got, Captain. That's everything she's got right now. All right, it's doing it. It's porpoising a little bit. We're not on the step yet. Now we're on the step. Careful with that rudder. Careful with the rudder. There we go. Oh yeah, there's 70 knots and we're in the air just like that. Boy, on a glassy surface like this is just like in real life when you're doing seaplane flying. You don't have a real good reference of how high up you are. I mean, we have our altimeter there. But let this thing do bleed its energy off by itself. Kill our power a little bit more there. I do have it trimmed, so it should be okay. Oh, it's gonna be a rough one. Oh, good God, airplane. So when you chop the power, it drops like a rock. Good to know. That was not near as good as our last landing. But hey, you know what? That's fine. We live to tell the tale. This actually isn't bad right here. We can actually pull it in all the way from the rope when we get out. Yeah, let's try to tie it up right here, but let's do our shutdown stuff here. Throttle is cut. Props, they're going to be all the way out as well. There we go. They're down. They're all the way down. Motor master both go to the off position. That kills the actual engines. Power boost mode off. Okay, motor masters are off. We can turn off the electric master and the battery master. There we go. Let's see if we can actually pull this thing in now. Attach the rope there. Okay, I see how that works. Okay, yep. So loosen the rope and tighten the rope. Right mouse button. Okay, yep, that's how you pull it in. Okay. Although that pontoon back there is interesting. We're going to have to push this thing out this way when we leave. We have Nest Lake Island. Contents, shellfish, package count 1. Let's do this. All right, job ID is ZG75 to Nest Lake Island. All right, that's the one we want. It's going to be this one right here. Shellfish to Nest Lake Island. That's our goods. Put it on here. Now we can get the little hand truck and we'll take it out here to the airplane. We're going to make our first delivery. Now let's grab this thing and now we can put it into one of these racks. That's all we need to do. It was that easy, turns out. Let's grab this over to here. And now we can go into rope mode and we can detach the rope like that, put it away. Now we can get into the airplane. Get out of the airplane and come back here and close the door up. All right. And we are going to let this thing kind of push out backwards with reverse thrust. Because remember we have R. That's your little button there. So R turns it into reverse mode. Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's see if we remember how to start it up. We got battery master on, elect master, all that stuff. We got these guys. Go to open. Boost mode is auto on that. These are the motor masters here. Both of those come on. Auto for you. Make sure the electric master is on. And then clear prop on the right side. And then clear prop on the left side. All right, we're good there. Let's put this thing in reverse. We're in reverse thrust. It's working. It is working. Use the left rudder here so we don't oh, we just knocked the hand truck over. I didn't know you could do that. Okay, we're far enough off the dock now. We can take it out of reverse mode and right rudder this thing over to the right. And get away from the dock so we don't run into it. Goodbye. We have the delivery here. Let's pull our power back this way and get our props to the full forward position. It's very strange to not have that on engine start, but that's okay. Keep a little bit of power in it right now. Nest Lake Island. Let's look at the navigation for Nest Lake. It's 117.6. 117.6. There it is right there. Okay, we want the radial of 133 to Nest Lake. So 133 on the OBS. Let's get that. So 133. I'm gonna keep that right rudder in. And it's 3, 1, 2, 3 there. So we're on a heading now of about 120. So it's gonna be kind of straight off our nose a little bit out this direction. If that's what we're doing, because we're right here right now, we got to go this way, it looks like. This is that island right there. We're going to find out once we get in the air, but we're pretty much ready for takeoff. 133 on the radial, that's good there. Bring up the props a little bit here, that's good. Trim is still set for takeoff all the way back in our lap. It's very important to have that all the way back. Full power for takeoff here. And now we're going to use the right aileron to get that thing out of the water. That little guy there. And left rudder when we do that. There you go. Little right rudder now. Get it out of the water a little bit more. A little squirrely here, but that's okay. Come on. We got airspeed now. A little more aileron that way. We're in the air just like that. Nice. Okay. Going to be a heading of 133, so it's off to the right. But we're going to get some altitude first before we do that. We need a lot more altitude than we're at right now. Let's pull our props back just a little bit so we don't break anything on the airplane. Pull our power back in the green. Monitoring our systems, looking good right now. We're climbing out. We do have an autopilot. I don't know what to expect from that. We took off, by the way, with no flaps. I wanted to see if we could do it, and we could. So to get on the radial, well, we're going to fly to the left, and then we're going to, when this thing swings over, we're going to go to the right, and we're going to line up our heading with that needle, and we'll be flying it pretty much direct to that VOR. So right now we're to the east, climbing through 2,000, almost 200 here. So looking at our climb, flaps are up, power boost mode's auto, throttle between, so max is 300 kilowatts, 2,100 RPM. We're at 2,100 RPM, and we are not even close on the, max is 300, they said? Yeah, kilowatts. We're just underneath that. Okay. We're gonna climb up to 3,500. We should be above the mountains over here if we do that. I don't think you can change your altimeter settings, sadly. You see that needle starting to swing over to the right ever so slightly. Here's our fuel level. We're looking just fine right now. We almost have this thing centered. We're gonna be able to turn on to our radial. Looking at the chart here, take off this way. We're just around this way. This kind of has a curve off to the right, and that's when we know right there on the right there, that is, now we can turn on to it. So we're almost dead center on that needle. We turn 133 on the heading. So here comes 130, and 33 is about right here. Okay, so now I have a Xbox controller hooked up so we can fly a lot better than using the keyboard. So I have my props and stuff are left bumper, that. I'm not sure how to bring them down though. I can bring them forward, but not down. It's Y. All right, I found the flaps button. It's on the controller as well. It's Y and X. So that's the reason why it was doing what it was doing there. Let's get out of the yellow arc there. Relearning how to fly the airplane now on this controller, but we're handling it. A little off course, a little more to the right hand side. Let's look at our. We're doing some dead reckoning here. We have a lot of islands we have to cross over here, all the way out. And it looks like it comes to this V for Nest Lake. But we really desperately need DME. DME is distance measuring equipment. It would tell us how many nautical miles we are until the destination, but right now we just don't have that, so we don't know. But that would be really nice to have. All right, now we have that needle pretty much centered. We're gonna start making a small left turn, heading 133 to get back on course, as we had gotten off a little bit there when we were messing around. All right, now we're heading 133 direct to the VOR, looking good for now. This is starting to make more sense now. I'm seeing more breaking up of these island chains along here. So we're probably right now just about here. I'm gonna look around and see if we can see this island. Once we see that island, we'll know where we're at on the flight plan. Yeah, you can see that inlet there, and this little thing right here. That's this inlet, and that small thing, and this is that island right there. You can see it clear as day, so we are right on course. Let's try using the autopilot. Press that. Now it should track on the course automatically for us, and we don't have to do anything. It's gonna hold 6,100, it looks like, as well. So let's turn that off. Push it nose down a little bit. Let's get to 6,000 feet. A little bit more down. See if it'll hold 6,000 and then hold our navigation right there. So there's autopilot there, and it is pretty much turning. You know, it's not turning on course though. It's holding the altitude, but I don't think it changes our actual direction. Unless it's just off of a last known heading you left it at. Let's see. Do I go over here to 135, 133, about right there? Will it hold it? No, it looks like it wants to go back over to there, where we originally had it, perhaps. So let's see now if we turn off the autopilot and I go left. Let's get it back on that heading again. I'm seeing what it's doing, if it's actually using that correctly or not. So about right here. Let's try that. Yeah, it just holds it where you last had it. It's not chasing needle or anything like that. So that's good to know. But once you're kind of dialed in, you can just hit the autopilot and you're good to go. RPM 2100 and KW is below 300. We're good in cruise. And the closer you get to a VOR, the more sensitive that needle is back and forth. So you can always move the Omni bearing selector anywhere you wanted to kind of point towards the VOR, which is right at where we're going. So it looks like the airport would be directly 150 from here. So off to the right, or the seaport, whatever you want to call it, the town of Nest Lake. Gonna be down in here somewhere. Seems like it's right here, doesn't it? It should be right here. We're still to the VOR. We haven't flown over the VOR yet, unless it's on the other side of these mountains. And there's a possibility, you know. We're gonna power back in, unless it's up here on the shelf. That would make some sense, actually, if it was. It was in this little spot down here. Altitude is our friend. We do not want to get into a position where we can't see anything or we're going directly at a mountain. That would be bad. Let's trim this thing back. Let's see if we can get a view of where we're going here. I think it's going to be in this lake. Hence the name Nest Lake, you know? This thing right here. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Yup. That's it right there. I can see the dock and everything. Okay, cool. They're overflying it. Makes sense to me now, what we're doing. Let's pull our power here. And we'll get set up for a left downwind to land straight into that spot right there, into this lake. Cross over this mountain, come around to the left, and then land straight in that way. That's what we're gonna do. Very cool. But navigation worked as far as VOR goes. That's always good to see. Get around this way. This is a very unique game. It scratches that itch for those of you that like to fly, but it has that building aspect to it. The maintenance thing, I think, would be one of the biggest sellers of this when they implement that, to where you have to take care of oil, you have to take care of the engine components. That'd be pretty neat. All right, let's pull our power back a little bit more. Let's see where we're going here. That's our lake right there off to the left. All right, so pull our power. I'm gonna go full forward on the props. There we go. Use a little left rudder. And the turn. There she is right there. Now we're gonna start slowing it down and get into the white arc so we can actually put some flaps in. We are coming in hot though, I will say that. All right, let's kind of smooth that out a little bit. Let's get into our arc here. Let's do a little forward slip action here. You can actually slip the airplane by using the right rudder and then left aileron. That's so cool. All right, our flaps 30. Slip it a little bit more. And flaps 60. Just slipping it on in, man. That's so cool. All right, now we can just get into the landing phase. Nice and easy. So much easier on a controller, man, to land. Oh, look at the difference that was. Now all the way back in our lap with the yoke, and we made it. We did make it. Nice and easy on that. And we'll taxi in. All right, let's bring our flaps up as we taxi in here. It's just taking a while to get over here to the dock. Ever so slightly. Boy, this took forever to get over here to the dock. I've just been kind of going back and forth with reverse thrust and stuff, but this is going to work out pretty good, it looks like. Let's let this roll all the way up to the left. A little bit more power. Yep, it clears the dock, no problem. There you go, pull it all the way back. We'll dock up right here, actually. Kill that power so it just stops moving. Please stop moving. All right, let's kill the engines and all of this stuff. Off, 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 and closed, and closed. There we go. Let's go ahead and put some ropes on this thing and unload. Rope mode. Yep, attach you to there. That's fine. And we can attach you here to there, like that. Nice. Let's get the shellfish, shall we? And we can actually go put this where it needs to go, up here at the little shop. Okay, it doesn't look like we have anywhere to put it other than this spot here or on the porch. So maybe the porch is a good spot for it. I don't know. Let's see. Yep, that's what you do. You put it on the porch. So now if we go to the binder, go to the next page, current jobs, finished jobs, right there. We just finished the job. How cool is that? Here, after a long flight in Lakehopper, after building the airplane. That is really, really cool. Let me know what you thought of Lakehopper in the comments below. Would love to hear your opinions on it. And if you want to see more, once the game receives updates.